As Attorney General, my highest priority is protecting Kentucky families. I seek justice for victims of crime. I safeguard citizens from fraud and from abuse. And I do not tolerate those who profit from tricking, deceiving, or outright lying to hardworking Kentuckians. I take protecting consumers very seriously. Those were the words I used, the commitment that I made on March 22nd, 2016, when I announced the Kentucky Attorney General's office had filed suit against Volkswagen. Today, we are fulfilling that commitment. Our lawsuit alleged that Volkswagen had knowingly and intentionally and willfully violated Kentucky law by promoting and selling diesel engine automobiles that contained rigged emission software. We claim that Volkswagen blatantly deceived consumers by developing, installing, and concealing defeat devices in certain diesel engines. These devices were designed to cheat during emissions so that the car would appear to be much, much cleaner than it is, that the car would appear to emit significantly less nitrogen oxides than it does. At the same time, Volkswagen engaged in a nationwide marketing campaign claiming that it had created clean diesel technology. On September 25th, 2015, the then president and CEO of Volkswagen America said our company was dishonest with the EPA and the California Air Resources Board and with all of you, and in my German words, we have totally screwed up. We have to make things right with the government, the public, our customers. While I believe that Volkswagen's conduct was blatant, I do believe that they are living up to that promise to try to make things right with their consumers, with our Kentuckians, and that they are taking responsibility. That's why I'm pleased to announce that my office has reached an agreement in principle with Volkswagen that has a potential value to Kentucky and Kentuckians that could exceed $100 million. The settlement has three major parts. The largest and most important part to me is the restitution to Kentuckians who own a Volkswagen, Audi, or Porsche with these engines. In this settlement, the more than 3,200 Kentuckians will have the option to sell their car back to Volkswagen for its pre-scandal value or to have it fixed through a future fix that will be determined with the EPA and others to reduce its emissions. If all 3,200 Kentuckians have paid off their vehicle, that buyback value could be worth up to $80 million. On top of this, each owner will receive a minimum additional payment of $5,100. Again, for those 3,200 Kentuckians, that will exceed $16.3 million. Second, the settlement creates an environmental trust, a national environmental trust, where Kentucky will have an initial allocation of at least $19 million for the mitigation of nitrogen oxides, the exact type of emissions that this clean diesel was supposed to reduce or to prevent. Third, and finally, civil penalties payable to the Commonwealth of Kentucky of $3,471,600. That represents a penalty of $1,100 for every vehicle sold in Kentucky, all 3,200. We feel confident that at the end of the day, after expenses and other effort put into this case, that we will be returning over $2 million to the state's general fund. That means with today's announcement, the amount provided by this office since January 4th to the general fund will be nearly $20 million, with an additional $8 million that we've returned to state Medicaid. To put that in perspective, that $28 million is more than our entire general fund allocation over the next biennium. This settlement would not have been possible with the hard work of some of our assistant attorney generals who showed up to watch today. First, a big thank you to Travis Mayo, who's been our workhorse on this from the beginning. A second thanks to John Gallion, who may not have slept since yesterday getting this settlement hammered out. We appreciate both of your work. A third thank you to the multi-state group, which we joined in for our investigation, but ultimately departed from to file our own litigation. We believe, because we chose to depart and filed our own complaint, that our outcome is better than it otherwise would have been. Also, a thank you to the head of our civil department, Latasha Buckner, as well as assistant deputies Mitchell Denham and Mary Ellen Minear. I'm proud. I'm proud of the work that this office has done in our first 6 months. We're coming up on 180 days in the first week of July. For making the $4.5 million transfer to make sure there is never a rape kit backlog again, to our record pace in removing child sex offenders from the street, to launching scam alerts, this Commonwealth's first direct text scam warning system, to the $8 million we're providing to recovery centers in OxyContin money all across the Commonwealth, to organizing the most comprehensive set of statewide child sexual abuse prevention trainings that this state has ever seen, to the more than $40 million in pending savings to requested utility rate hikes, and to the individuals that we've gotten to help along the way, including the E-Town senior who we recovered $50,000 for when she was scammed in an IRS scam, or the senior who had their life insurance canceled after they had ended up finding some additional health complications that now have that coverage back. To today's announcement, I'm proud of the work we're doing. I'm proud of our people, and I believe that this settlement today is one of the best settlements that this Commonwealth has seen in a long time by a company alleged to have violated our Consumer Protection Act and others. Thank you. I'm happy to take